In this video, I show you guys how I modify the terminal cup for my Skar Audio SK2X12. This is a dual enclosure, 12-inch enclosure by Skar Audio, but it does have some flimsy wiring on its terminal cups. In this one here, I'm gonna show you guys how I modified that. So if you'd like to learn a little bit more about that, just stick around. I got that and more coming right up. Starting off, we got to get this thing out of the box. So what we're going to be doing is recognizing what type of screws we have. Skar did do his due diligence and put some hex screws in here. Pretty premium for how cheap this thing is. If you guys are wondering what bit to use, it is a T15. So I select that from my toolkit and I move forward with the drill. Be careful not to strip this thing out. They're not in there, they're not glued in there or anything like that, but you can't damage the head on them. So I used the drill bit, I put it on settings 1 and kept on going. And as you guys can see, these are not some little flimsy screws. They did pretty good on the screw selection. Kudos to Skar for that. That's a closer look at the screw itself. Actual wood screws. You'll be surprised at what some of these manufacturers put in their boxes. And there she go. You got to pull this guy out to be able to do anything else with it. That's a closer look at it. One thing that I did not notice early on is that these things are actually soldered in there. There's another look at this flimsy wire that we're going to be replacing. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I did that. But first up, let's get a better look at the solder job. So yeah, the wires are soldered to the terminal cup. It actually make me wonder, did Skar do this in-house, or were they purchased like this fresh out, you know, off the shelf? But regardless, we're going to be getting rid of it. These wires are just too thin. Luckily for me, I had an additional terminal cup laying around, and though this looked like copper, it's actually brass hardware. I learned this later on after purchasing the enclosure that it came out of. And look at there, pretty much a perfect fit for this. So I kind of lucked out with that flush fit. Brass hardware, can't go wrong with that. And there's a comparison view. Push terminals and a 5-way binding post, basically is what that is. If you guys are wondering where it came from, it came out of this base tube here I bought quite some years ago. I think about 3 or 4 years ago I featured this on the channel back in my bad camera, bad audio days. This is the BZK8 from Ground Shaker. In case you guys are wondering, you can pause the video and get a better look at that. There it is right there. Nice little bass tube. But anyway, this is about the wiring, not the bass shaker tube. So we're going to be moving on to ring terminals. You're going to need this in order to do exactly what I'm going to do with it, which is make sure that I can connect more than one voice coil to this one here, to this one terminal. And as you guys can see, this one right here does not quite fit. It's a bit too small for the screw right here. I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how I modify this little guy in order to make it fit. And as you can see, this is one right here that I've already modified, and it fits just fine. It's the identical to the one that did not fit at first. As a matter of fact, it's the exact same one. And this is one that does not fit as was before. I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how I did that. Okay. So first what you want to do is get the drill bit out. You got to select the drill bit. Now in selecting the drill bit, you want to kind of do this right the first time. Of course, you don't want one that goes straight through the ring terminal. You want the one where it just, like right there, it doesn't fit through. The first one that it doesn't fit through would typically be the best one in this case scenario. You want to get you a hole started, not all the way through, you don't need to, but just enough to punch through so that the screw will actually go through the ring terminal. And please pay attention to the direction that this thing is turning. It's turning in the opposite direction. Okay, not in the way you want to drill a hole, but the way you want to loosen a screw out of a hole. And that's very important because if it catches, this thing can spin that terminal and break your finger. There it is, it punches through, and you got a clean hole. Now it's slightly bigger, exactly what it needed to be in order to go over this ring terminal. To go over this screw. So they get a thumbs up from the budget bass head. What you want to do now is crimp your wire some. I had to kind of increase the tension on mine a bit. I use this thing for so many different jobs that, it's always being adjusted and readjusted. But once you get the wire off, what you want to do here is give it a twist, and it goes on quite smoothly. Some of you guys may know this, some of you guys may not know this, but this is all about the terminal cup, so I'm just going to give you every step. First, I'm going to show you here what not to do, or what you could do if you didn't have a crimper, such as what I have. You would basically crimp the insulation first on the wire, and then you would crimp the actual metal piece. Because remember, in these insulated ring terminals like this, the metal doesn't go all the way down. So you crimp it twice, and that's give you a secure fit, though it's ugly. Now I'm going to show you what to do if you had a crimper that actually had an insulator setting or an insulator slot for it. You see that? That's for insulated. It's more of a flat groove there for that insulation. And what you're going to do is you're going to stick that in there, and you're going to see that the crimp is going to be a lot more cleaner, and it's going to be just as tight as the other one was without damaging the insulation. Because if you damage the insulation, it could cause, like if this was electrical wiring or something, it can cause an arc or a fire. You don't want that. And this is what everything is going to look like, and you can actually see that one that I did what not to do, or what if you didn't have one specifically for insulation. It kind of stands out. But now we have to do something about the wires that actually all look the same. So you don't really know at this point what is your negative from your positive. So we're going to have to do something about that. And yes, it looks a lot better than that red and black wire that came originally with the cup. And this is what that looks like. So we're going to be taking this off of here. And first we got to get the wires and stuff cut. So once we do that, it's on to screw removal, but we need to figure out what size screw that is. And as you guys can see right here, that's a 7mm. So we're going to use the 7mm to get that off of there. And this kit here, this tool kit actually came with this screwdriver setup where everything fit like an adapter. Makes it very, very easy to get to do small work like this. So once you get everything out, you see you'll be left with this. You got a nut, a washer, and a screw. These are the push terminals. This is what push terminals look like when they're fully disassembled. Most of them anyway. Some of them you can't do this with. But for the most part, this is what they look like. Something I want you guys to pay attention to though. If you look at that hole is not round. It's actually rectangular. And I'm gonna tell you why. If you were to look at the bottom of that push terminal, it's actually got like a groove fitting there that fits right into that. You see that? That ensures a tight fit and it prevents it from rotating. So why would you want that on there? You would want that on there so that your hole that you stick your speaker wires through would always be facing forward for you. If you allot that to spin, then you would have a difficult time because the screw hole would spin as well. I'm sorry, the hole where your speaker wire go into would also be able to spin, so it would not always be facing forward. So remember before you tighten things down, remember to put make sure that push terminal is in that groove. Okay, so once you can orientate this right and get everything screwed down. So what I'm doing here is I'm screwing two of these onto one terminal. So why would I screw two of these onto one terminal? Because for the most part, I want to be able to wire both voice coils internally inside of the box. Now you could get around this by drilling an extra hole in the side of your box for another terminal cup all together, it'll make it a lot more easier. Then you would only need one wire on each terminal, but I didn't opt for that. I opt to do it like this. Either way, you can still do parallel wiring and series wiring with this setup because you have a wire for each voice coil. Just remember that this is better for, or most suited for parallel wiring. For series wiring, you still would have to have an additional cable inside the box. Okay, so as you guys can see side by side right there, this is the original and what it looks like, and this is the new and improved. I did want to go with the screw terminals at first because it is brass and it's a lot better quality. Brass does have copper in it. This is the length comparison. Yeah, brass is made of zinc, manganese, and copper, which is better than whatever this is that Skar has put together, which is probably nickel or something, aluminum. I don't know what that metal is, but I opted for the quick release of the push terminal. And here I just put some black tape on the end of my negatives because all my wires are the same color, and as to not to get confused, I just wanted to kind of like mark them. Sorry about that, guys. I got some videos that is not processing correctly. But anyway, so we're pulling this through here and basically just cut a hole in your insulation, and there you go. Easy access right there. And there she goes. Everything fit just fine. And in the future, I may add a second terminal cup here just to make things even more easier installs for, like, you know, like I said, series and parallel wiring. But for right now, this suits me just fine. Better wiring, better access, longer wiring, and I keep my push terminal, so I'm happy with it. Now all I have to do is just get this thing back in here. And there you go. Just be careful not to break this cup. It is plastic, so easy to hurt it. Where's this little guy going? You're in the wrong spot, buddy. But anyway, that's that looks a whole lot better. As you guys can see, I do have all hardware installed as far as the baffle goes. That's what I started on and showed you guys last time. And there's the wires. And I am aware that one is longer than the other. That's actually on purpose, because sometimes it's harder to reach the other end of that speaker. So that's why I did that. You guys are wondering what kind of wire this is. This is by New Concepts. I've had this wire about 4 or 5 years now. Very, very good wire, in case you guys are wondering. So go check them out. And if you guys want to see these two guys and see what they sound like, I will be testing them against each other in the new enclosure. This is why I bought this enclosure. I wanted it for a test unit. And yeah, these two guys look right at home in it. So I'm going to be putting the Power Acoustic Mofo 12 up against the Skar Audio SVR. I do think they have similar sound qualities and characteristics. So I'm going to be allowing you guys to be the judge of that. I know in the last competitions I did between the Power Acoustic and the Skar, it was the SDR that I put up against the Mofo. But I do have something different in mind this time, and I want to see if you guys are into it, if you're going to dig it or not. But for right now, just know that this is what I have for you guys coming up. So yeah, that'll do it for this one. In the next video, I am going to be doing a sound test and a sound demo of this. Got better wiring. I already been playing with it. I know what it sounds like, but I want you guys to know as well. I do have a new mic we're going to be using in this. Well, it's not new at this point. I got the Blue Snowball microphone in the studio. I got 3 different settings that we're going to be testing this thing on, and we're going to see which one sounds the best. See you guys in the next one. It's your boy D, and I'm out.